Welcome back to Great Day Live. We are continuing our discussion here at Christian Academy's Indiana campus, kind of turning our attention to how this school is affordable for all and how they're making that option available to all families. I'm joined by, once again, Principal Scott Luttrell and now Superintendent of Christian Academy, Darren Long, to talk a little bit more about how you're opening up the doors wide to everybody to come on in. And we touched on this just a little bit earlier, is the voucher program. How does that work, and how are parents taking advantage of that to come here and enjoy everything that you have to offer?
Well, one of the most common misconceptions of Christian education is the fact that it's unaffordable. And so one of the awesome things is being in the state of Indiana, if you're a resident of Indiana and you qualify with the income guidelines, and they are very high, as I mentioned, a family of four can make $222,000 a year and still qualify. It makes everything affordable. So in elementary, we're talking just a couple $100s a month for that. There's also additional tuition assistance. We know that our Kentucky families that come across the river, sometimes it's hard for them to afford it. And so we have great tuition assistance for them as well. And so at the end of the day, we want Christian education to be affordable for everybody. And so one of those misconceptions is that people think, we're a bunch of wealthy kids running around here, but we're really not. We are that middle-class school that just comes because they love the mission.
You have a high percentage of families that participate in the voucher program and financial assistance.
Yeah, and that's been one of those awesome things that has grown. So over the last 4 years, we have grown all the way up to 77% of our students at this Indiana campus qualify for that voucher program.
Well, it's part of your message, too, that, if you want to be here, we're going to make it happen.
And those are the great conversations that I get to have during the tours and the interviews. And sometimes families don't even know about it. And so they're trying their best because Christian education is a conviction and a priority for them, but they just don't know how they're going to afford it. And I get to give them the good news that says, look, here's some things you don't even know about. And those conversations are the favorite part of my job.
Absolutely. And Darren, great to have you here. Thanks for having us back.
Thank you.
We've really enjoyed over the years kind of touring all the campuses and get to know it. What do you think is the secret behind how the Indiana campus has grown so much over the last couple of years?
Well, I think it's really just what Scott talked about earlier. It's really a family atmosphere. I was blessed to be the principal here for 6 years before I turned the reins over to Scott, so I feel like I know it very well. And it's such a great community in southern Indiana, and it's really something that people wanted was Christian education. So when we opened this campus in 2005, we started with maybe 400 or 500 students, and to see that grow to almost 1,200 now, I mean, it warms the heart.
That's great. And I know everybody knows of some changes happening with the Southwest campus, How is that going to change? Like, what do parents and families need to know? And how does that lead to the growth of these other campuses?
Sure, yeah. Unfortunately, we just the board just announced recently that our Southwest campus, after 23 years, we're going to consolidate that campus. We have just about 200 students, and it's just the enrollment hasn't been there. But we're going to work with our families and try to get them free bus transportation to one of our other two campuses, or help them get located at another school in Southwest Louisville. So that's been tough. But the other side of that is we got a couple big building projects going on at the two campuses, which will allow our Southwest students to consolidate. So our first one is at our English Station campus in Middletown. It was actually a plan that we were going to start in 2020, but COVID pandemic kind of made us pivot a little bit. But we have a brand new, just broke ground about 4 weeks ago on a JA building, or Junior Academy building, for our 3- and 4-year-old programs. And so we're excited about that. It's about 13,000 square feet, 8 classrooms, a big multi-purpose room, a covered playground. So that's exciting. We're hoping to open that this coming fall. And then here at the Indiana campus, it's just been explosive with the growth. And so a big dream we get to realize, in December, we'll break ground on a brand new middle school wing. That will be about 28,000 square feet, so about 19 classrooms with science labs, art rooms, administrative offices, and that will allow us to open up about 12 rooms in high school. So probably over the next 2 or 3 years, we'll be able to add another 200 to 300 students to this campus.
I feel like when we first spoke during COVID, I felt like the doors of the online schooling really opened for you all. Do you feel like you've just got a lot more opportunities now on the horizon because of the creative things you did from COVID? Like, I feel like COVID created a pathway for you all big time.
Everybody in education, as any industry, was really pivoting big time. And for us to be able, we were open 92% of the time that year. And, between online and be able to do things in the campuses and the partnerships with the families, that really, we thought maybe that was going to be a route. But what people really wanted when they came out of COVID, we want to be with other people.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what you really see when you look at the enrollment growth on our campuses. That's what people wanted. They wanted to be back in person with teachers, with other kids in classrooms, and building that community at all these events.
And you're answering with growing expansion in Indiana and English Station. Thank you all both for being here today and inviting us in. We're going to wrap things up from Indiana after the break. Stay with us.